Hello there. If this is a recommended video, please stick around. I promise you it'll be worth your time. Welcome to Billy Ho's Sports. Today we're covering one of my favorite Breeders' Cup horse races on the card this year, and it is going to be the Breeders' Cup Mile, the Fanduel Mile, which is 1 mile on the turf for the best of the best. Tons of invaders coming from overseas. They typically dominate this race every year, but us Americans have our pride too. So we're going to try to beat them this year, and we're going to go through, stick around also for the big top 10 reveal because you won't want to miss that. I'm trying to do things differently than others. I've seen suggestions on social media about a lot of these top 10 videos and top 5 videos. They're all the same and they're not that entertaining or whatever, but I'm trying to bring a little something different, my own takes. I try not to look at other people's lists and do different things like that. So without further ado, I ask that you please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. That helps me a lot. Smashing that like button, leaving comments, sharing on social media, all that thing helps my little channel grow. I'm hoping to get to 2,500 subscribers by the Breeders' Cup get time, which is just a couple of weeks away, but I think we can do it. It's just a little over 100 to go. We're getting more and more all the time. I think we'll crack that 2,500 easily. So you'll be doing me a great service. I appreciate it. Let's go. So we're going to start with the jockey trainer combo of Charlie Appleby and William Buick. They have their own three-peat. That combo has won the last 3 Breeders' Cup miles by way of 3 different horses. Last year was Master of the Seas. You can see on the far outside, he flies home to nail Modge at the wire by a nose. That 5-year-old gelding, just one start this year in the Maker's Mark Mile, stalked the pace, waited inside, opening, took over and won the race. But along comes the 4-star Dave, which was the plan, and a foot bruise forced a scratch. He has no workouts since the spring, none leading up to this. There's just 2 weeks to go. I have not read any kind of confirmation yet on whether he's going to go. So I don't know. You would think you would have to get him out on the track 1 or 2. You know, even if they got him on the track today, he's getting no more than 3 workouts in at the most. So I don't know. It just doesn't really look good for his chances on running, to be honest with you. But if Master of the Seas, and that we're going to act like Master of the Seas as far as the top 10 list goes, we're going to not include him as of yet. Now, tough call at the top, but Johannes, trained by Tim Yakteen, probably going to be a popular pick at number 1 for good reason. 4 for 4, does a great job of rating, moves into position at the top of the stretch rather than relying on a deep close. Likely jockey Umberto Rispoli, one of my West Coast favorites, especially on the turf. He knows how to get his horses where they need to be. So that's going to be a good combination. Now, the important thing about that is, and I'll have a stat on this shortly, is the stretch drive at Del Mar. So keep that in mind. Diego Vasquez is an exciting colt trained by Aidan O'Brien, sired by the legendary Frankel. Impressive juvenile season, slow start in 2024, though. He hit his groove in July. The Meld Stakes, Group 3 at Leopardstown, won that by commanding 7 lengths. Looking like he's returned to form. And there are some other horses in here. We got 3-year-olds, we got fillies. The race is wide open. So we'll discuss some of those in a bit. This mare is a top 5 contender, in my opinion. The next one up I wanted to talk about is one of those fillies. I've watched Chili Flag all year long. She can flat get after it. She caught my attention on Derby Day with an exciting close, won by a neck over the favorite Coppice that day. She backed that up with the grade 3 Just a Game Stakes victory, defeating some of the best female turfers in the division. So definitely Chili Flag is going to be one to reckon with. And fillies and 3-year-olds have no problem competing in these races, by the way. So on to the next up is Ottoman Fleet, another Appleby potential contender. 4-year-old gelding, Godolphin bred, and continuing to shine in performances in the 4-star Dave. The running style usually is tactical, and he tends to stalk the pace before launching his bid. But going back to Churchill Downs, the Wise Dan in June, Flavian Pratt wasn't messing around. The lead was there. He took it and went right to the lead and took it all the way. So that is some useful versatility, in my opinion. Although I will be looking for more of an off the pace horse to win this race. Appleby also probably brings notable speech. Cashed his ticket by the way of the Qatar Sussex Breeders' Cup Challenge race. This is a 3-year-old colt by DeBowie and unraced at 2, 5 wins and 7 starts. Strong. Appleby has no shortage of contenders. Another one is Naval Power. A strong couple of second place finishes in the spring. 4th place finish in the Woodbine Mile. Sometimes they don't always win their last prep coming in. So this would be one to consider that trend if you believe that. All out down the stretch in the old Forester back at Churchill Downs, but lost a head bomb to a very good program trading. That was going 9 furlongs. We're backing it up to 8. So that could be a good spot for that contender. Now, you can't talk turf horses in America without talking Chad Brown. His big time contender is Carl Spackler. And Carl Spackler is no Cinderella story out of nowhere. He's an Irish bred colt, and he's been dominating the turf since he was 3. So, my worst Bill Murray impression. He served notice on Thurby the couple days before Kentucky Derby on Thursday. Opening verse stakes, took that down, stepped the game up. He had a hiccup in the grade 3 poker after that, actually, but then came right back. Grade 3 Kelso, then won the 4-star Dave, grade 1, and Coolmore Turf Mile. His style is very similar to Johannes. So those two are going to be competing right there, just off the lead. And it's going to be whoever is the tactically best ride, I suppose, and whoever jumps on the first crack at the lead. But like I said, Spackler could take over the race. He could win on the front end as well. Now, next up, Sherry DeVoe, training a horse that tracked Carl Spackler in second place twice in the last 2 races, looking to take it to the next level at Del Mar, is a horse by the name of More Than Looks. Came into 2024 straight off the Breeders' Cup Mile, and last year that was finishing 6th as a 3-year-old. So now 4 years old. He debuted a little bit rank for jockey Jose Ortiz, who was trying to settle him in around the first turn. So a little rank early, was bobbing his head a little bit, but came back off the layoff in a good spot, made a good run and finished up well there. Then is coming in third off the layoff, was closing hard in both the 2 debut races, but definitely one that won't surprise me. So now one that might surprise some, but maybe not me, bit of an underdog story, I guess. Fell into it was the rise of Grand Motion's 3-year-old Colt by Oscar Performance. Trickery first earned his accolades, 47-1 upset win in the Grade 1 American Turf on Kentucky Derby Day. Once again, playing a starring role in the Belmont Derby at Aqueduct when he left 2 heavy favorites, Legend of Time and Endlessly, in his wake. But I'd say the Academy Award goes to his role in the Secretariat Stakes at Colonial Downs, rated just off the lead, advanced into contention through the final turn, finished with an energetic burst to the wire. He's probably a year away. I'm thinking the 4-year-olds and up have a little bit more of an advantage this year than most, just because I think the older horses are better this year because many of them were 3-year-olds. and now they're older horses, obviously. So he's not there yet, but he will be, I think. And now we have Sharon is a 4-year-old by Dark Angel, trained by Roger Varian, successfully trains horses across different distances and surfaces. So this one has been just ripping it at a mile overseas. Group 1 win, Prix du Haras, Prix du Moulin, closing late, hard. The horse that beat him was a horse by the name of Tribalist who punched his ticket. That's a 5-year-old Andre Fabre. He's racked up many graded stakes wins at a mile. So wrapping things up toward the end, there's some 3-year-olds, some fillies, some strong to compete. Another one is Ramatoule, and that's another 3-year-old filly from France. Delivered an impressive victory in the Prix de la Forêt. And Ramatoule, American bred, is by Justify. And actually, fun fact, former NBA star who's French, Tony Parker, owns a piece of her. So when it comes down to the betting strategy for this race, there's a couple things that strike my eye early, and it's the top trainers like the Euros. Obviously, you got to consider them. Appleby, O'Brien's, both O'Brien's. Then you have the American side, Chad Brown, Mark Casse, things of that nature. Also, you know, leading older horses myself. Now, like I said, 3-year-olds have been good at a mile and have won, both fillies and males alike. Fillies and mares alone have done well in this race, but I think I'm going to take a stand against those this year. But I will be paying attention to the post draw. Looking back at Del Mar turf in the last 2 fall meets, the post positions 1 through 6 are about an 80% win clip. The once you start getting outside post 6, it starts to get a little dicey for the horses. And some of that may be a little bit noisy due to the fact that maybe there were only 6 horses in the field in that particular race, but I think they average about 8 horses per mile race. So I still think that it's a strong contingency that the 1 through 6 post is favorable. Preferring a stalker, more of a presser, closer to the pace this time around, more than a deep closer. I think deep closers can do well, but I'm thinking one of those Carl Spackler, Johannes types. I'm giving the number 1 nod to Carl Spackler, Go America, just a little bit over Johannes. In second, those 2 are tier 1 in my opinion. Both of those. Then you have a Ottoman Fleet, Diego Vasquez, Sharin, More Than Looks. I think that's kind of a tier 2. Then you have like a tier 3 with the rest of them, which is number 7, Chili Flag, number 8, Ramatoule, number 9, Naval Power, and I'm rounding out number 10 is Trickery. There are a ton of them. Master of Seas would probably file in the top 5 somewhere, maybe somewhere around Ottoman Fleet if he was in the race, but I don't see it. I don't know how you can have a horse that has no workouts 2 weeks before the big race, and then you're just going to throw them out there. Maybe there's something that I don't know that I'm not hearing, but I'll have my ear to the ground anyway. So a lot to parse out in this field. So look out for more in-depth handicapping coming soon. We'll break it down. We'll have more news like Dornoch being retired a couple weeks ago. And I have to do an update to the Classic because I haven't put a video out. Actually, 2 days after I put my first preview video out was when Dornoch had the setback and retired. So remember to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and be on the lookout for lots more content coming soon. Thanks for watching. See you soon.